Good afternoon. Welcome back to Music Scrap, the Musical Scrapper. This is part 4 of my monoprinting tutorials, but it's actually monoprinting 201. This is a little bit more complex process that I'm going to show you. I'm going to do a multi-layered pull from my print. So what I'm going to do is build up layers on my jelly plate and then pull them all at once at the end. Now, the thing with this is, you have to remember, as you pull each layer, as you add each layer, you're going from the top layer to the background. So you have to start with your top layer first. The background layer is always last. Okay. Oh, I don't want to get print on this t-shirt. I should have worn a different t-shirt. Dang it all. And I'm just going to use a card to spread this out. So my top layers, I often like to have black and white circles. So what I did is I have some black and some white paint spread out. I should have just used my finger in the first place. Excuse me for a moment. I need a baby wipe. Spread out on my palette. I'm going to take my cap. I'm going to do my white ones first. Now you have to dry each layer, or your layers are going to blend. Now I'm going to use 8.5 by 11 piece of paper, but I may cover more than 8.5 by 11. That doesn't matter. I'm going to create a background page. Add some black. So this is going to be the top layer of my pull. Now, as I said, each layer needs to dry before you add more paint. You can't use your heat gun on your jelly plate. So to dry layers, I use my handy hair dryer, but it has to have a cool setting, either a cool setting or a cool button. So I'm going to put it on high and my cool button, so please excuse the noise. Hair dryer. Yeah, sometimes I'm not patient enough. Sometimes I'm not patient enough. I'm going to take a little bit of the white paint off that one because it's pretty thick. said in my previous tutorials, I am recording this live on Ustream, so I will occasionally be talking to people on the chat. So I have some white and some black paint left here, so I'm going to just take my card. This is my old health card. And I'm going to make some marks. Let's make some cross hatching. Whoops. Don't have as much black left over as I have white. Let's mix them together. All right, let's dry those a little bit. Whoops. Hold on. Lost my hair dryer to the floor. There we go. Uh-oh. Now it's fixed up with my... now it's fixed up with... all mixed up with my heat gun. Yeesh. Okay. Let's get the heat gun back in its place up on my cart there. There we go. Uh-oh. Now it's still... There we go. All right. Got it untangled. Watch out. Noise. Okay. Not on this one, Carrie. This one is just on paper, but yes, I am going to do a packing tape one. Yes, I am. Okay, so now I'm going to add some stuff. I'm going to add through a stencil. So I'm going to take out that patty stencil that I had out earlier. This one. And I'm going to add the next layer through this stencil. So, let's see. What color? This is the first color. Okay, I'm going to use, that was my PBO red. PBO. And this is the Dyna Green Blue. So I'm simply going to, and I think I might use my smaller brayer here. And I'm going to use a little bit of green. I probably put way too much paint on. We'll see. Green yellow is stuck closed. Take off the paint goober. This is a great combination. Oh. Yep, just a little too much paint. A lot too much paint. That has to dry. Oh, I'm going to take this one on the other side, clean off my stencil on that other side, take deli paper, rub it. Don't leave your stencils on the paper though, because I also learned the hard way that I was reminded very rudely that acrylic paint is basically a glue. There, so I just cleaned off my stencil on there. Basically, sort of cleaned off my stencil. I'm just going to put that down there, let it dry before it puts it away. Now this layer needs to dry. Ah! And there goes chat again. I know you guys can't see that you're leaving chat, but you are leaving chat. Your chat's not totally crashing, you're just leaving chat. And coming back. Okay, so that layer is dry, although nobody's in my chat at the moment, I don't think, so they can't talk back to me. Come on, chat, fix yourself. So I'm going to show you in the next layer. I'm going to use this mask. It really is a mask. Oh, shoot. As I said, don't leave. Oh, dang it all. This is a mask. It is flowers. And it's a mask because the flowers, the shapes, are solid. Okay? Now, the thing is, I want to block out some of this from showing through in the color I'm going to add. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a piece of deli paper and I'm going to rip some strips. You can rip whatever shape you want. And I'm going to do a nice narrow one. Let's see. You can see it's not riveting perfectly. That is fine. So basically, I'm making my own masks so that anything that's, this is going to stop the paint from showing these areas. I think I'll do one more. Let's see what I get if I don't use the ruler. And I'm pulling out paint, so I don't want to do that. That's not dry over there. I'm glad I just noticed that because that would have been terrible. I'm going to pull up the extra smudgy stuff there. It's not dry. Oh, now I don't want it that wide. So I'm going to take this. Sorry I'm off screen for part of this, but I'm trying to stay away from the paint, which is not dry yet, which I only noticed. I have to dry this just a little bit more because otherwise it will smear when I roll on my new paint. Oops. So I need to dry it a little bit more here. Noise. Okay, normally it doesn't take that long to dry. Oh, there we go. We finally got everybody back. Woo. Okay, I lost you guys there for a little while. Lost the chat, I should say. I don't know if you, I hope you didn't lose the video. Still showing that it's recording, so I hope so. That one, this, and let's do just a partial one, and this one. Let's see. Let's move this one over a little bit. Okay, so then all right, so now I'm going to roll some paint onto this, and I think I'm going to use a nice red pink. What is it? One moment, I need to get my app out here so I can see the color. And it won't use my print because I've got too much paint on my fingers. This color is Naphthol Crimson. Naphthol Crimson. Yes. So I'll try not to use too much paint. Hey, Patty. So this is technically a mask, but then on top of that, I've masked off some areas of the mask just to make it a little more complicated. Just trying to do as many different things on it that you can do, just so that you can see You don't have to do them all at once, but it'll give you some ideas of what you can do. Now I can find an edge of the mask and pull that up. Okay. And see, I've worked myself into an area that I cannot control anymore with all these stencils, and that's what happens when you're jelly plating. And now I'm going to take these masks off as well. You can make your own circle or oval masks using paper. Just make them kind of thin if you use a heavy cardstock. Now the thing is with masks, now when I go over this with my final color, all right, it's going to fill in everywhere where these masks were. Okay, the flowers and the strips. And while I'm doing this, I have to think about what color I want to use. I think I know what color I want to use. I just have to get this nice and dry. All right, here we go. Hair dryer. Bye, Lynn. I would have been having a panic attack, Sam. Notice I'm not peeking underneath, Colleen. Some of it's going to be a surprise. Some of it I kind of figure I know what it's kind of going to look like, but I'm not peeking. Okay, so hey, Sophia. Hello. Nice to see you. This is not my heat tool, Sam. This is my hair dryer, and it has a cold setting. So it's just cold air. It is not my heat tool. You cannot use your heat gun on your jelly plate or even the hot air from your hair dryer. It has to have a cold setting. Okay, sorry. All right, now I want my Payne's Gray. Where is my Payne's Gray? My last layer, I like to either use white or black or something dark, but definitely something opaque. So I'm going to use it's 4 in light fastness, and opacity is opaque. Watch your ears. Put my red back away. So Payne's Gray is that beautiful blue, black, blue-black kind of color. Love it. So it's black without being black. It's like, yum. And this is the Sayers brand, which is a Canadian art store. And it's their student grade paint, but it's thicker even than the Liquitex. I love it, and it's very reasonable priced. I'm going to cover this whole thing, even though my paper's not going to pull the whole thing. So your last layer, you want it to be a nice opaque color, not too thick, because it's like doing a cleanup print. Okay. So, down goes my paper. And then down goes deli paper to pick up the rest. It's not even a full piece of deli paper. I got some extra leftover stuff from before here, so I want the full length. There we go. All right. Now you have to rub a little longer because you want all those layers to pick up. Now you might say, why don't you just do all these layers on your page using stencils and whatever and skip the jelly plate? Yes, you could, but you're not. It's not going to look the same. The jelly plate is soft. It's going to give you more muted, more distressed kind of layers. It's going to give you softer edges. Uh-oh, I missed what Carrie should do. What you saying there, Carrie? Let's see if this is picking up. Okay. Oh. I'm not sure that red was opaque enough to do what I want it to do. We're going to have to see. I missed what our I Carry Love was. Oh yeah, it's not too bad. I think I Carry Love was suggesting something and I missed what it was. Give a couple more rubs with the paper because it's going to take longer for the cardstock to pick it up. Okay. Yeah, Carrie's been drinking too much infused water, I think. Yeah. Okay, here we go. All right. Now, unfortunately, that layer that I put through the stencil had a little too much color. I used too much paint through the stencil. So let me see what I can pick up here with this. Darn it all. And I knew I did too. When I put that paint on, I'll show you that better up close in a moment. I just have to get to this. No, I'm going to have to do that as a pull-up print. It's not going to pull now because it's dry. So the flowers didn't really turn out looking like flowers. They did in a couple of places, but anyway. Hey, you end up, that's the fun thing. You end up with what you end up with. So that's a multi-layer pull. Exactly. Thank you, Sam. Carrie. Thanks, Kim. All right. So you can see lots of yummy layers and textures. And like I said, if you wanted perfect, don't use the jelly plate. If you want perfect, don't use the jelly plate. Do your layers like you normally would. So we'll see. I don't know what I'm going to use that as yet. So I have one more tutorial to do today. I'm going to stop this recording.